Yeah, it's your boy Dave Noodles. We are on the Type 88 show. Today we got a special guest with us. This man has been in the hip hop game. It's crazy to say, but going on 2 decades. This guy is a true man of his craft, always sharpening his sword, always learning something new, um, putting on others. And he's going to be sharing his journey today. He's going to be talking about his new album, Self-Made, that is available everywhere. And I want to welcome my dude to the Type 88 show. What's up, man? Welcome, Paul Marz.
Peace. What up, Noodles? Thanks for having me.
Of course, man. We had a classic interview a few weeks ago, but unfortunately it got lost in the hard drive. So here we are, and we're going to do it again as always. So
It's cool. It's recorded in the cosmos. That's all that counts.
So you've been on quite a journey, my dude. I know you dropped that last album literally about a year or two ago.
Yep.
And, maybe, talk about what you went through as you were, going through the ups and downs in the hip hop game, or just the evolution of, stepping into new roles, and how you even found this album again.
Yes. I mean, so this last album, Self-Made, kind of, I guess we can go backwards in time after the previous one, Death of a Star, Rise of a Titan. I was like, I liked that album, and I felt like real satisfied creatively when I did that. And then I kind of just, I didn't really have like any drive to rap and make music. I felt more excited and focused about doing iBattle things and organizing events and working with younger MCs. So like I try to find a way to like get the spark back a little bit, which I'm always inspired by the young MCs, the iBattle guys, but for myself to get myself back to that like mind state of I want to make hip hop, I started trying to dabble with production, and after maybe 3 to 5 years of experience, I was working on, learning about production while I was doing Death of a Star, but I never took it seriously. I just kind of, I found it interesting to know more when I was in the studio and be aware of what's happening. But then after that, I decided to take it to the next level and really learn how to make my own beats. And I thought to myself, hey, maybe I could do my own album. And once I got that thought, then it became a challenge, like I never thought about production or anything like that. So then, or thought of myself as a producer. I'm like lyricist first, that's why I guess what draws me to like the battle rap scene, it's pure lyrics,
Yeah.
But I don't know, I took it as a challenge, and I was like, once I had that thought and made it a challenge, then I got inspired again to make music. I was like, I felt that the cycle started over again, and I was ready to work on an album, So that's like leading up to how the album came about and why I even went back in to try to put this together, Right.
So what was so, of course, you've been writing rhymes for quite a bit, to now step into a whole new zone of making beats. Clearly, you kind of go from a pro to like a rookie in the game. And like, so how did that feel to kind of humble yourself? Because, you're very scientific with the bars, but now, you're starting the beats, and like,
I'm glad that I'm glad you put it that way, because that's kind of, I really like had a thought similar to that when I started. Like the lyrics and the rapping and all that, for example, like had certain goals when I started when we were 14, 18, doing stuff, and we didn't know what was going on. But I remember one of those goals was like, I want to go around the world and rap. I want to touch stages in other places. I want to do albums in other countries, and I was young, and to me that was just a dream. But then the hard work, it ended up happening. So as I knocked everything off that checklist of what I wanted to do, I found it like I'm looking at this list, and I wanted to feel like a rookie again. I think that was part of it. And I said, what can I do that I would love as much as writing the rhymes? And then, you know, production, it was a no-brainer. So I'm like, all right, this is a great challenge. And I'm blessed in the situation, like having Text and Glaze at any point. I could just call Glaze and ask him questions. And he helped me obviously helped me put together and mix down and really polish the self-made album. Like, it wouldn't sound good like that if it wasn't for Glaze, you know.
Word up.
I don't have that level of expertise, but it was the experience me and him have together from working, that coupled with it being a little easier on him, getting half of the production right in front of him for him to just, and the way we work together is kind of just seamless. You know, one sentence can produce quality results. We don't have to really explain things to each other thoroughly all the time while we're working. So it's really fun. The album and that part of it was just really, really fun and exciting. It was good to challenge myself to do it, you know? But yeah, you hit the nail on the head with that, being a rookie again. So I was excited. That's kind of what gave me the spark, and again, like to feel good about it and feel energized to make it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool because it's like you want to bring the essence back, but then you will also want a whole new feeling too that like kind of makes it, you know, you kind of want to bring back the spark. And
Yeah,
I know hip hop, there's highs and lows, you know, and of course, you know, the love is always there, but sometimes the scene is a certain way, or the climate, it makes you kind of want to change climates a little bit. So it's
sure.
cool that you were able to like switch your atmosphere mentally and then bring a whole new sound and your own sounds. So it's really cool, man.
Yeah, you know, I think it's a balance. You're right, man. So I think it's a balance of, you know, you want to do what you know you can do, because as humans we're like scared to fail a little, but you always want to challenge yourself. So for me, I'm in music wise and rap wise, I know my boundaries. So this, and I've challenged myself many times. So I tried to come up with something out of the norm of my challenge radius. Those to take a bigger jump in the rungs and take on something else, and a new title, even, you know, being a producer now. So, but it's good. It's been a fun journey. It's really rewarding. You know, that's what else is there to do
Yeah.
except
So
grow, you know?
that's what I always say, bro. If you ain't growing, what are you doing? You know, like you have to. I always say, I like, for me, I always think about life, and I always tell people, I'm like, yo, if you're gonna be my friend or you're gonna be with me 40 years from now, I'm I'm not gonna just have all the free time to just do anything whenever. Like, I'm still gonna be working. I still need projects to do. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be good because I'm saving for my rainy days. Not that I have to work. It's because I feel like as humans, we need to have something to do. We need to have work.
Right.
And I think work could give us the balance, especially, I don't think it could be all play. I feel like there's got to be this responsibility to life too, where you got to show up. You got to be there when you don't want to be. And then it evens out the things, especially the things you love, because you realize when you do that as your job, the responsibilities kick in too. It's not
It
just
still sucks. Yeah.
yeah,
It
yeah.
still sucks. Yeah. Even
It's
if you do
just
what you love, you still got to do the parts of it that you don't want to do. There's nothing that you're going to do that's just like, oh, this is great, every aspect of it. I mean,
yeah,
there
yeah,
is, like, I do feel that way, but you're going to have, like you said, your ups and downs. There's no two ways about that.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you can't get around that.
So it's cool. It's cool that you know, as a creative, you know, I love seeing the evolution of artists, because we constantly see artists critiqued because their last stuff didn't sound like their first stuff. And it's but
Right.
how do if you're an artist, you get it. You're like,
Yeah,
well, was I
absolutely.
the
You
same? Was I the same a year ago? Like, I went through so much different stuff,
right.
and now I have to time capsule what I'm feeling. So like, so it's cool, you know, your the first project, Welcome to Mars, which is going on, I think, close to maybe 13 years now.
13 years, yeah.
To
Since
now,
it was released. Yeah.
yeah, and to now producing your own album. Of course, you know, shout out to Glaze and P Soloist. You did have some really dope guest
Right.
producers on the project.
Yes.
It's just cool to look at that first tape, and then of course here we are now. We're like 11 projects deep,
Right.
4 or 5 albums.
Yeah.
So it's cool, man.
Absolutely. Yeah. Big shout out to P Soloist, who did the first 4 tracks on the album. So when you check them out, you know. Big shout out to Glaze. Obviously, everybody knows uh, about Glaze. Everyone in my circle, at least, knows the power of Jay Glaze. So thank you guys for helping me see this vision through. You know.
So here we are. You know, you finally have a beat. You lay down the vocals. What was that first track that you released off the tape that had your production on it?
The first track that I had, I think it was The Return with
Yep.
Bobby Bars. Yeah, that was the first beat that I made that I was like, oh, I definitely want to rap to this, almost like as if someone else made it. You know, when you hear a beat and you're just like, so I had that after like The Return was finished, which was pretty exciting. And then I just kind of knew, I'm like, yo, this is the track I want to put out. So I kind of felt the vibe a little. And yeah, that opened the floodgate for me. Then I was like, all right, I can do this. When I started getting good responses from that,
Yeah.
then I was more confident, you know.
Yeah, I think that's, you know, as someone who's seasoned or someone who is just starting to get in the game, I always say it's important to just, you know, the minute you see that you created something, it just opens up your eyes to other things. So like I try to always encourage kids to just make their own t-shirt, because it's like, okay, maybe you're not going to have your own business, but the minute you see that you made something that now is being publicly interacted with,
Right.
it puts
You can
you,
start to see how it works.
you start feeling different things, you know, like
Right.
people start responding, they don't respond, you're curious why, either way, and you learn from it, you know. And I think it's just so cool the minute you kind of you lose that weight in your soul, and you're like, here it is, you know, this is what, you know, this is the message that was sent to me, I'm sharing it, I'm no longer carrying all this load, you know. Like I kind of look at, you know, these ideas as like weight, you know, like we got to kind of let it, we got to share it, and we got to let it out. It's like hoarding food, bro. Like if you have 80 steaks, bro, and you don't freeze them, they're not going to be good next week. You know, you want to
Yeah.
call your people up and share those steaks or fish or whatever it is.
Those are great points. Right.
So here you are, you see the beat out, people are responding, and then that's just a great feeling, man. That's just a great
Sure.
feeling. So yeah, I know you also did a couple of the other beats. You did War March. I know you also did Meditate. So maybe you could
Yes.
kind of bring us back to maybe how those studio sessions went.
Yeah.
Because I know you
So
had
yeah, those.
some Woo members. You also have some battle rap G's on there.
Yeah. Meditate with Dungeon Master. He was staying at the crib. He came by from out of town, was visiting um, for about a week, and we kind of just vibed out. And that came together. Like that was one of the most fun sessions I had, because I woke up real early in the morning, and I found that sample for that and was just kind of playing with it, found something that I liked, and I got super excited about it for some reason. I polished up the beat and I was like, oh, I can't wait till Dungeon wakes up and hears this. He came downstairs and his reaction was priceless. It was exactly like I thought. He just like started laughing. He was hyped. And we kind of just ran through that song in one morning right away off of vibes. Then we got War March, was more like a strategic piece. Like when I work with the battle rappers, I like to make songs with battle rappers, with the battle rap community, because I feel like also they don't get enough shine. So it's like they remind me of like the underground artists, the modern day version. It's like industry versus battle rap almost. But those guys, that's where the lyricism's at. But Cortez is a legend in the battle rap world. Everyone knows him. And my man Shah is on the come up, you know. He just won a tournament. Well, he's in the Crucible tournament for URL, so he'd advance to the next stage, which is a great look for him. So he's on the come up. And I kind of just wanted to find the vibe, and that came along like slowly. Shah laid his verse down. I had the beat finished. I didn't know what I was going to do with it. After Shah laid the verse, it kind of opened the direction. I was like, okay, I like this. I'm going to rap to this too. And then after I finished that, I let Cortez hear, and he was like, let me get that last verse. And it just went one after the other slow. So that was real organic, the way that track happened, which was fun. And like the whole album's kind of been like that, you know? It's been like that.
Yeah, because I know a few months ago you told me, you're like, hey man, this is it. You sent me the track list. I'm always grateful to get the early leaks of it. But then when I saw it released, well, I got a chance to kick it in the studio, and you played other records. I was like, what?
Yeah.
There's like 4 other records. So, I know you added, there was this Break the Mold, the last 4 tracks on the album.
Yeah.
When I saw it, I was like, oh, what? And then you added even more maybe in the last month. And like,
yeah,
this is during COVID and all that stuff. So like, during kind of a weird time, how did you link up with Peeps, or did they do it away? Like, how did you bring all that together?
I really didn't plan to do that. I wanted to release the album early in the year, like March or April. And it was right when COVID happened, and I was away. I was in Canada. So I ended up staying out there for a few months. That allowed me to write extra material, which was kind of cool. So I was sitting on that. Then when I got back, the week that I got back, just somehow everything worked. Like I linked up with Chris Valentine. We were around. I went to the studio to work on a record that I had already with Lex. And then we brought Chris in to do the hook. And then I saw Eddie I while I was there. And he was like, hey, let's do a record. Let's do a track. I was like, wait a minute, I might have one more beat that's I could use for this project. So then the following day, I started writing to that. And then Eddie came through, and we finished the last couple records in like a week or two. And that wasn't even really planned. It just came back together. I guess part of the buildup of the frustration of not really putting the album out when I wanted to. And then I came back, and then it was July, and then it was August. So I said to myself, all right, so, things didn't go according to plan, but instead of having like, a little meltdown, getting frustrated like I would in my younger years, I just came up with a better plan. I just did more stuff instead. And like, that's always been working for me the last 5 years. Like, I don't even, like if I get rattled, I just try to be logical and try to decide like, what can I do that's just going to be beneficial? And then I'll put that energy straight into it, and it works out. So.
That's, yeah, and things have a way of working out no matter what. Even if they're not working out, it's like, oh wow, it didn't drop in July. And then all of a sudden, like, it worked.
Yeah. You know
You
what?
don't feel that in the moment. Like,
Well, it's because it doesn't work out the way you think it's going to work out. It's actually working out, but your idea of how it's supposed to work out and how in reality it does work out is two totally different things,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know? So that's really what it comes down to. And us as humans, we're so stubborn. We're like, the second it starts going different than we think that, we want to quit, want to throw our hands up.
yeah,
But we
yeah,
don't understand that sometimes there's a better way. You just don't know. You just got to let it rock.
yeah, yeah.
Roll with the punches,
I've been constantly saying to myself, bro, just patience, patience, patience. It's almost like my peace word to myself, because sometimes I'm so ready to go. I think I just have to keep going, or like but I, time and time again, it's working out the way it's supposed to work out, and
Yeah.
I'm that example you said, and I'm like, it's not working out the way I thought, and
We all do that. I do that. That's how I even know to say that,
yeah,
But I learned that I was doing that. It took a long time before I realized that's what was actually happening, So, and then when I did, and then you make the necessary changes. But
that's
that's
powerful.
part of life. I think with it's the more experience you get, the harder things become around you, but the more capable you are of dealing with them. So technically, I guess they're easier, but I don't know. But then you're older, so everything's more annoying, But
Yeah, it's just
it's cool.
it's constantly learning, right? And growing. And
Yeah, yeah.
that's great. It's great to see it, bro, in life, and art imitates life, and here you are, over a decade in the game, going on a decade and a half. But you've been rapping for 2 decades,
Yeah.
and I remember the start of it, and it's just really cool to just have a friend that's so dedicated to the art of something, and it was inspiring for me growing up to have that as a friend, because when everyone was kind of going the route that maybe their parents suggested, or the route that made
So
the route that
once
made
the
sense.
social pressure started crushing people's spirits and dreams, yeah, and they all folded. We were the only two standing. I feel the same way about you, bro. It's the same thing.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, it was easier to go to the shows in Manhattan and rip the stage, knowing that you were traveling there with a table and a box of stereotype gear, and you were going to be standing in the corner right there. I was good going to a show to do that, me and you. You know what I mean? Just that alone, I didn't need anything else or anybody else, and that's how it started. So I definitely look at you the same exact way, because you did the same thing.
Whew.
And I feel like we did. That's what stereotype kind of the formation of it was. We did it together. Like
Yeah,
no one else was really there in the beginning. Who was there? A small handful of our family and friends that still now, but not not like this.
yeah, man. It's just cool because people got to make the decision. Following a dream doesn't always make sense on paper, and I know a lot of people that had dreams, and they had to take a choice B, because they couldn't be a football player, or they couldn't be the Wolf on Wall Street. So their plan B became their plan A. So I'm all about the shift of a dream, and then creating new dreams to bring all that to light. But it's cool to have my homie from age 9 still rocking with plan A, and it's cool. We've remixed it over time, but
Sure.
you still kept that plan A. And
It's a blessing, man. It's a blessing. It's looking back, I realized like I'd get frustrated, and things would be hard because you expect things to happen for you, but they don't. You have to make them happen for you. They could happen for you sometimes, but that's not how progression comes. So I feel like a lot of artists or some, younger heads might get discouraged because certain things don't work, but they just don't know enough yet.
Yep.
You need to mess up. You need to do that. You need to get pissed off, because that's how you're going to figure out what needs to be done.
Yep.
That's how everything else becomes so easy after that.
It's true. It's really true, man. I'm just so self-made, bro. Like, it's cool that I think that's just an amazing title for this, because I feel like it's something that people could really grasp and they could run with.
Right.
And it's like, 10,000 hours starts with that first minute.
Right.
If you keep your dream in the closet, it's staying in the closet.
Right.
It's gonna get dusty. You're gonna look at it 10 years from now and be like, "Oh yeah, remember that? Remember
Right.
that?" But you could also start now, and then
Yeah.
10 years from now, look back and be like, "Look how far we've come." And we were talking about responsibilities earlier. It's never, "Oh, don't feed your family, don't starve." It doesn't have to be like that. There's way, we live in a very cool country where we could hustle in the morning, we could Uber at night, and then in between we could follow our dreams. There's time if you make the time for the things that matter.
Yeah. Sure.
So, bro, self-made, it's everywhere right now. The response has been great. I've been seeing a lot of playlists picking it up. Different
Nice.
blogs have been reaching out. And
Yeah,
how's it feel to to get the response on this project from from family and friends, from how's that?
Yeah, this has been, to me, like, this has been my most, I feel like, complete project. Like, I feel like this one came together with ease and force. Like, I was able to really do this one how I wanted to. And I feel like I said a lot of the things I always wanted to say more clearly on this album. And I've expressed a lot of a lot more ideas, and I was more in depth about, being more personal than before, but in a way that I've, cultivated slowly. I was just really happy overall with the body of work, even before I released it. Like, for myself, I was happy. So to get the feedback from my friends and my fans and things like that, that they are, like, receiving it the same way that I envisioned. That's the best part. So I feel like I did it. Like, okay, boom, you did it. Like, that's what you wanted, and it happened. And yeah, man, I this has been the easiest process for an album so far. I mean, COVID was the biggest uh, hold up on it. So I know, which was never like any of my previous albums, or my last one at the very least. I worked on it for like 2.5 years because I was being really picky and particular about certain things.
I think that album, I think your mind, because I'm flashing back on what you said on that last album, and like, we've talked about the meaning of that project, Death of a Star, Rise of a Titan, like burying your ego to
Yeah,
then be able to become who you were meant to be.
yeah,
I think you found one of the keys in your life, which was you shared in that album. And then I think it made everything, from what I see, everything else just flowed, because you found your feet were firm in the ground. You know what I mean? You felt you were like planted at that moment. You knew your
yeah.
purpose. You're following it. You're giving. You're putting yourself in a position to give. And now this album just now, it felt like a natural vibe. So I
That's
really,
actually, well,
cool.
you're right in that. That's why I started by explaining. I went back to start from that album, Death of a Star, because that's like the starting point for this. You're right. When I did the last album, I did have a realization. So that you explained it in a very good way, and that is one of the mentality I created from that album. Like when I did Death of a Star, I was like, all right, I don't feel like doing music. I'll do this one and done, and then I'll really focus on the iBattle stuff and being an owner and that kind of stuff. And if the music comes, it comes. I got the studio. I can do it for fun. I don't have to really stress myself about putting things out and being consistent as much. But then I, you know, this album came naturally. I didn't try. Because I formulated into myself. So for this album, I really just like I was reflecting on everything and trying to more like explain my perspective on how I got there and try to see like like how can I relay that message across to other people so that when they hear it, they could think and do the same thing and get inspired in that sense, like, oh, if he could do it, I could do it. That kind of vibe I want you to get from it. So,
Yeah.
but I kind of like try to lay down the instructions here after I thought about them. Like it's like this is like the post-apocalyptic Death of a Star, Rise of a Titan is a thing, and this is like the aftermath. So it does kind of follow up. That's why if you notice the artworks have the theme of that kind of like I wanted to keep those vibrations in a sense where you tie them together somehow, but you just don't know why, because they are tied together. That Death of a Star is kind of like part one, and Self-Made is almost like part two. It's the conclusion, that's looking back. That's how I feel about it. I didn't mean to make it that way, but I like to make my music that way, to build it in story mode. Like whatever I'm doing in the moment, I'm going to tell you. Like that's how it's going. I'm going to try to capture it. So you could go back and listen to Welcome to Mars, and I sound like a young, stupid kid because I was 17 writing things. I didn't even know what I was saying. But then you keep going, you go along, go forward, go to Sort of Sound, then you might get a couple little gems in there, you move forward, So it's the progression. That was another thing when I was young and I was becoming like serious about being an artist. I wanted you to see my progression. I wasn't scared to put something out when I was young because it wasn't to par. I didn't care. I put it out. I kept learning. People would put stuff on hold. Oh, it doesn't sound good enough yet. I need to do this, da da da. And they hold it off. And 5 years pass and they never put out one project. I didn't want that to be me. So I wanted you to see the progress. Like, okay, well, you might not think this is the best rap because it's not. That's okay. I'm gonna get better. Next year, I'll drop another project. It'll be better, and it was. And from day of arrival, and little by little. So like, I learned how to make music when I was in the HOD, and like truly like different elements and just the whole journey in itself.
Yeah.
I try to mash that together real quick into this project, like all my learning experiences. I try to summarize it into Self-Made.
It's kind of interesting, bro, because I remember records off that first album. You didn't even sound 17. Like there's some bangers like Fatal, Been Through the Storm. There's some records that still are pretty wise, even for a
Thanks,
young
bro.
P. Like put the
Thanks, man.
kids to bed because this is not rated G. That goes super hard. And more like that. That was a special moment, bro.
I think I was discovering my craft. I was just learning. So I guess you're right. Those are but
I
you
feel
go
you.
back and you listen,
Yeah.
they're good, but I didn't have the knowledge. I didn't have the experience. All I had was the raw talent,
Yeah.
So, or like the drive, really, not even talent. that I didn't really have. I just had drive and determination and hard work ethic. So that was it.
Yeah, man. I think that's what self-made's all about. It's like you could make something out of yourself if you put in the time, if you put in the effort, if you don't stop, you know. And that's why I always say don't stop dreaming. It's not don't stop sitting on the couch hoping the thing will fall on you.
Right.
And now you're the champion of the world. Like no, like Mike Tyson didn't do that. He was pounding the bag, you know.
Right.
And
even when he was the world champion. That's what you mean. That's what you mean. You mean we'll be the world champion and still go hit the gym and nonstop. That's don't stop dreaming. Exactly. Like it don't matter. Yeah, it don't matter even if you feel like you achieved something. You keep going.
Yep.
Very relatable.
Yeah, man. He just think about his work ethic, bro. Like he just wanted it. And I think I think I was talking about this yesterday, but it's like your imagination has to meet your hard work. You know, like your creativity has to meet the hustle halfway. Like you could have one, but if you're not willing to put the hard work into the imagination just kind of like this bubble above your head. But if you're willing to hit the bag day in and day out, you could become your own beast and a beautiful one, you know, despite all the ugly things that happen in this world. It makes us, you know, more beautiful to get through it. And it's just been dope to just see the journey, man.
It's been fun.
So, you know, Death of a Star, you know, you talked about the growth. You talked about stepping out of the limelight to then shine the light on others. How has that been over the last year? Because you guys have been putting in a lot of work during a time where a lot of businesses have been getting shut down or shutting down because adapting has been difficult, or getting people in a room has been difficult, or you know, there's a whole bullet points of all reasons why things maybe shouldn't have worked for many people. What's been your mind state going through this, and how have you made it happen?
I mean, I don't know how, but luckily we've managed to, like, iBattle as a whole has managed to avoid most of, you know, the negative repercussions that have followed this Corona stuff with everybody, you know, with most of the entertainment industry. And I mean, by chance, before everything happened, I had been working on the app, making it like a real strong point to have that iBattle app available and have the content available digitally for all of our fans that can attend events anyway. So our business model was already being built that way since last year. And I don't know, man, by the grace of God and the universe, we were ahead of the curve. We didn't have to wait for this all to happen to try to set it in motion. So we had some set up in place where we could do private, small scale events and film our battles and give content to our fans. So we hadn't been hindered really the same way other battle leagues have, for example, who have no way to put, all they relied on was the money at the door. You know, we had moved on from that way before this happened, and that was just lucky. I don't know how to explain it otherwise, or just the fact me and Lex really do this every single day. So we had to something had to give, and that kind of gave for us in a way. But honestly, I've just been this year. I just got lucky business wise. That's it. I can't really attribute it to anything else because I couldn't have planned. And you know, it's impossible to plan for something of this nature. But here we are with the ship, like the ark that floated before the flood. I didn't know why I was building it. And that's what the app feels like for me. But that came just off the strength of me wanting to put the younger guys on. You know, I wasn't even thinking about the app from a business side. Like, I was thinking about the app like, yo, how can I make more people see these guys battle? How can we take it to the next level? You know, how can this become more commercial? Not commercial, but how can mainstream viewers and average regular people see this? Like, and that's where the idea that even came from, wanting to really just build the platform that those artists that my battlers had, like, to the next level, separate them, because they work so hard and they're all so talented. I feel like everybody needs to experience it, you know. The whole battle rap community in general, well, the good guys, the good ones at least, and there are a lot of us. So, you know, I've just been rolling with the punches last couple of years. You know, the older you get, the more you realize you don't have as much control over things, and you don't get mad about it. I don't know, man. Things have just been working out for me. I've just been taking it easy. You know.
Yeah, bro. You show up. You're ready when things. You know, you're blessed too. You're surrounded by a battle rap genius.
Yeah.
With the homie Lex.
Yeah, Lex is
and the whole crew.
Next level.
He has definitely a vision for the battle scene, and
for sure.
And with the forces combined with Maddie, you know, technical wise, and then the talent.
Just him and Maddie just overseeing us and kind of giving us guidance and all of his experience on top of that, which trumps my experience. Excuse my language.
And just, you know, then there's all the dudes out there putting in all that work, bro, making those classic battles. So
yeah, man.
Shout out to everyone in that scene, bro, doing what they do. Lex, Maddie, the whole crew, because it's great seeing the evolution of that too, man. That's that self-made mentality too. You know, really taking something that, you know, there could have been excuses to just see it kind of end, and then pumping the life into it and putting your all into it, and then really seeing the trees grow over the course of years, you know. And
it's been a journey. It's definitely been a journey with that. A lot of hard work to keep it together, but I mean, I'm glad we saw it through. You know what it is? You got to do like my thing. A little trick. It's like I do everything on a day-to-day basis. Like I'll create my overall goal, but you just take each day one by one and conquer the day. Like I said, when I wanted to put out an album, all right, I want to put my album out in 4 months. Okay, well, I'm gonna make X amount of tracks per month, and I'm gonna do this amount of per week. And just break it down. Give yourself a nice little schedule or a guideline or a blueprint, something. Just something. Make a little plan for 6 months. I know I got that from you when you were handing out those the bucket list things, you know, and writing down what you want to do. So like I started that was the first time I ever tried writing stuff and doing it and like what I wanted to do. And that helped me be able to take it in my mind and like say, oh, okay, now using that and like have now like a grid in my brain for it. So
it's cool.
Yeah.
The same way we could get programmed, you know, we were talking about programming on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we reverse it and program ourselves to become who we dream? And
that's a magnificent suggestion, Dave.
So that's cool. I didn't even know that the bucket list was helpful to you.
Absolutely. I know, Matt. I mean, the littlest things make the biggest difference. I know. I don't know. It was. I guess I never told you, but I don't know. I didn't think about it really until just now. But that's what helped me. When that bucket list is like where I really started to say like, hey, this is pretty helpful. And I've gotten some stuff done since I wrote things down on this piece of paper, and then it kind of went from there. Then I adopted the mentality of the paper, but just in my brain. So
Yeah. That's so cool, man.
yeah.
It's so cool, bro. Whew. It's just great seeing the evolution of you, bro. Just I love talking after every album and just really reflecting on it and getting a deeper look into it. And
Oh yeah.
if you haven't listened to that project, stream that immediately. The homie P Marz, self-made everywhere, all streaming platforms. Make sure to go support that. Um, iBattle app is everywhere, right? It's on iOS. It's on
Yep.
Roku and all that good
Yes.
stuff. Amazon.
No, Roku not yet, but
Oh,
you'll
it's on.
find it. You can get it in the Google Play Store. You can download it on your phone, your devices right now. You can also access the site from a browser, the portal. So that's iBattleTV.tv, So
Yeah, subscribe to that. There's so much content. The last month alone, I know you guys have done over 7 events or 6 events or so.
yeah. We had
It,
5 this month.
oh man,
It's been a lot, yeah.
just got back from Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, we had a 2-day event in Columbus last weekend.
The work don't
Saturday
stop.
and Sunday. It was amazing. Shout out to everybody out there in Columbus and all of Ohio. A lot of guys came down to support. The Shots Fired Battle League. Shout out to them. Yeah, it was amazing. I love the battle rap community because working with them, working together, is the real love hip hop vibe I've always wanted. You always want out of a show that was missing in the underground. Like
Yeah,
I know we've had that combo before. That's like a whole nother combo. But yeah, the battle rap world, man, I love them. Those guys, just the community and the support, everyone involved, the true genuine heads. Salute to them. Keep working. I'm happy. I'm happy the way things are going right now. Things are looking up. Hip hop is in a good state if the battle rap world can really, you know, if what they have, the fruit that they have can really grow to the rest of society, and what they produce, that beauty and that truth. So I'm right there on the front line working on it so other people can experience it too. Because battle rap to me, when I first got introduced to it with Lex at modern day battle rap, I didn't know, I didn't understand it. It was a foreign concept. It was way different. I had one idea of what was happening than what was actually happening in the room. And I think a lot of hip hop heads in general see it that way. They don't fully get it, but hopefully that'll change in the future,
yeah, bro. It's great to see the growth of it. I know, Big Nate, Drake, Ice Cube, a lot of these meth just in the last week. Not that they just got onto it, but I've been hearing their names and battle rap in the same
Right.
sentence very often. So it's cool. It's definitely a blessing to see, and I wish you and the whole scene nothing but the best, because I know you guys are gonna bring
Appreciate
it.
you, bro. Yeah, man. Appreciate you.
So once again, make sure to go support that. Go get that self-made. Spotify, Pandora, Apple Music, wherever you could stream tunes, YouTube, it's there. Make sure to go get that. Make sure to go
Yes.
subscribe to that iBattle app. Everywhere. Tons of free content too, right?
Lots of free
And then,
content, yeah.
and
You
then if
can
you want,
download the app, and the subscription is just for the pay-per-view live events. So if you download the app, it's free and you don't have to pay, and you can watch like 300 battles for free. All the whole old archive. But, so if you don't really know about battle rap or you never watched one, just get the app and just explore. Maybe you might find something you like. Who knows?
And it's cool. Yo, I must say, I've been to some of these. I went to the Beast Mode event in Toronto.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was
That's
a
right.
memorable drive
That's
to the
right.
six, and
Yeah.
it was
That was a
memorable.
good time.
It's memorable times, man. You don't know what's coming, and these guys they spend hours preparing, and they're never gonna do that verse ever again. So you're getting a fresh 16, fresh out the
Yeah,
pot,
man. And that's
crafted
it.
crafted for that evening.
Yeah.
So you can't even predict what's gonna happen. So I
Right.
think just that element, and there's comparisons to wrestling, but wrestling they know what's gonna happen. Like with this, you have no clue, and you the owners have no clue. You could somewhat maybe get a vibe for it that they're gonna kill it, but you don't know what they're gonna say.
Right.
It's not scripted out. So
Right. You don't know how it's going to go down. You don't know, it's fun. It's just the unfolding of it. It's like going to the theater almost. I try to say, like, battle rap, a lot of hip hop heads hear battle rap and they have the musical standards, but that's not what it is. Battle rap is lyricism, but it's performance. There's more to it than just that.
yeah,
So
so yeah, go check that iBattle. You I have some friends I put onto the battle rap, and they're like, "Yo, this is something new right here," and they're like, "Yo, there's some guys that go so hard, and if you go to
there are
battle,
some.
they're all going hard."
Oh yeah, my man, these guys surprise and impress the hell out of me every event. Every event I come back, I'm like, I think that was the best event we've ever had. I've been saying that to myself for the last 7 years. So something must be happening right. you know?
That's dope, yo.
Yeah.
Yo, my dude, you're always welcome back. Of
Appreciate you having me, bro. It's fun.
of course, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll be seeing you soon. Once again, make sure to go get that self-made. Subscribe to iBattle everywhere,
Yes.
iOS,
Please.
Android. Get that app, and open yourself up to the culture because it's something out. It's something that you'll be like, whoa, what the? You'll laugh. There's a lot of emotions, and you'll be surprised of how dope it is. If you don't know about it, if you know, you know. But yo, man, keep shining bright.
My
Uh,
guy. Thank you. You
and
too.
I'll be seeing you soon, my dude.
I'll see you soon, bro. Thanks again.
No doubt.
All right. Peace.
Peace.